All right, let's start fresh. Open a new scene in Blender and delete everything. Drop in a plane. We need a lot of data for the physics to look like fabric, so hop into edit mode, subdivide it once with 10 cuts. Yeah, let's do that again, but this time just 7 cuts. Then we can scale the plane up by 2. Switch over to the Sculpting tab. We're ignoring the standard brushes today. Go straight for the simulation tools and grab the cloth bend and twist brush. This part is more of an art than a science. Give it a slight brush right in the center to create a spiral pattern. If it looks like a crumpled napkin on your first try, don't sweat it. Control-Z is your best friend here. Once you've got a shape that doesn't hurt your eyes, switch back to object mode. Toss on a subdivision surface modifier and hit Shade Smooth. Back into sculpting we go. Switch to the cloth grab brush. Jump into the top view and just gently nudge the edges around. We want it to look like it was naturally tossed on a table, not like it was mathematically generated by a computer. Realism is in the imperfections after all. Geometry is done. Switch your render engine over to Cycles. For the lighting, we're using an HDRI. I've linked the exact one I'm using in the description if you want to follow along. We can increase the strength to 1.2. With the cloth selected, head over to the material properties and create a new one. Let's be professional and name it Cloth. Then split your view and pop open the shader editor. In the shader editor, select that principal BSDF and hit Ctrl-Shift-T. This is the Node Wrangler magic. Make sure you have it enabled in the add-ons. Grab the textures from the link in the description. We're picking the diffuse, roughness, metalness, and normal maps. Select them, hit enter, and everything is plugged in exactly where it belongs. Convenient, right? Now, for that real silky sheen, we need the anisotropy maps. You don't need a fancy menu for this. Just open your folder, highlight the strength and rotation maps, and drag them straight into the editor. Once they're in, make sure both are set to non-color data. We need to tell Blender these are math, not pictures. Connect your mapping node to their vector inputs so everything stays in sync. Let's see. Open up those specular settings on the main BSDF. Plug your strength map into anisotropy and the rotation map into anisotropy rotation. Let's fix the scale to something more realistic now. Go to your mapping node and bump the scale up to 3. Much finer, much more elegant. Now, let's play with the look. Between your color map and the BSDF, drop in a hue saturation node followed by an RGB curves node. This is the lazy artist way to change your fabric color without redrawing anything. Pull that curve down for a richer tone and slide the hue around until you find a color that suits you. To really sell the silk feel, we need a sheen BSDF. Add that in and plug your color data into it as well. Now, drop a mix shader node at the end. Plug your main BSDF and your new sheen into the slots. And that is a wrap on the material. Minimize that shader editor for a second. Let's drop in a camera and snap it to our current view. Switch that focal length to 80 millimeters. It's the difference between a high-end product shot and something you took with your phone. I'll let you handle the exact framing. Move it around until you find an angle that makes it look like it was given to you by the Blender guru. The HDRI is a good start, but let's toss in an area light, change the shape to disk, and add a Track 2 constraint targeting the cloth. It's a lot easier to move a light when it's pointing at what it's supposed to be illuminating. We can also set the HDRI strength back to 1 if you think it's too much light. Let's bring that shader editor back for a split second. Go to your hue saturation node, bump the saturation just a bit above 1. Now switch that editor back to a 3D viewport. Grab your light, duplicate it twice, and play around with the placement. Keep an eye on your render preview in the other window while you do it. We're looking for those elegant highlights, or something like that. Yeah, right about there. Over in the render properties, turn off the noise threshold. We're going old school. Set your samples to 128. Then head down to color management and set the look to medium-high contrast. Setting it to high might be a bit too much. Now hop back to your hue saturation node, adjust it one last time. Make sure the colors haven't gone totally radioactive on us. We want silk, not a science experiment. Then head up to the top left and smash that render button. It's all done. Catch you in the next one.